today, Stephen Gensler's with me. He's one of our instructors at Grillbillies, and we're going to walk you through a chicken leg recipe that we've used here several times and worked real well. Okay, here are the components that we're going to use for this chicken leg recipe today. The chicken that we use is Springer Mountain Farm chicken, and the reason we use this chicken is simply because there's very little fat content under the skin, and you notice that by how white it is. If you compare that to others in the cooler at the supermarket, you'll see the others have a yellow tint to them, and that indicates that there's a heavy layer of fat underneath. We're also going to use two seasonings, Killer Hog AP Rub, and we're going to use Head Country Original. The Killer Hog AP Rub is a combination of salt, garlic, pepper, and the Head Country is kind of an herby type of seasoning. So they work well together. In conjunction with that, we're going to create what we call in barbecue a butter bath, and that's created by using chicken broth and 1 stick of butter. Also, the butter, by the way, here, and Steve is indicating that to me, is that it's salted. Okay. The last ingredient, which we'll use at the very end, will be Carolina Collision. And Carolina Collision is a local product, but it's excellent on chicken, and it'll give it a great flavor. It'll give it a good color.
Okay, the other tools you need for this cook is one half pan. You see I already got some chicken in there ready to go. You'll need 1 bowl. This is for your sauce for dipping the chicken later. And 1 rack that fits in the half pan. You'll also need a good sharp knife, which is always you have when you're barbecuing. Cutting board, gloves. Obviously you see I'm using them. You'll need a 1 cup measuring cup. And as always, you need your thermal pin, your temperature probe, so knowing when the chicken's done and ready to go. So the next thing we're going to do is start prepping the chicken. As you see, I've already got most of it already prepped, but I left one to demonstrate. The first thing you want to do is pull the skin back, and you'll notice there's a membrane under there, and you can kind of slide your thumb up underneath it in most cases and pop it off. If it's too tough and you can't do that without tearing the skin, just take your knife and cut that membrane. The idea is to get the skin pulled all the way back, so you see how it's all the way off on that. Then you'll see these tendons on the outside right here. We want to remove those because those are just tough, and if you've ever eaten a chicken leg, you'll know there's always that big tendon in there. So we're going to cut that off, and there's a little one over here. We're going to go ahead and cut that off. Stick your knife underneath it, cut it off. Okay. In addition, you'll see with all the legs, there's this little bulb extension that's over here, and we're going to go ahead and kind of cut that straight off and put that over here. The reason why we do that is when we pull the skin back over, the skin will come up higher and cover more of the top of the meat and protect the meat and keep it moist. One note is with the pieces you cut off, you can save this, freeze it, and it makes great stir fry later. So if you want to, you can save those, especially if you're doing a lot, you want to save those. Okay? So now we've got the, there's also in here, you'll see sometimes there's other little tendons in there that you can take out. It's optional if you want to. You see those white tendons in there, and you can go ahead and take those out. Okay? So, you see we have the chicken ready to go at this point. Now, we're ready to season. So, Joe's going to come over here so I don't contaminate the seasoning container. He's going to put the seasoning on. First, we're going to start with the AP, the all-purpose seasoning. We always put our salt, which is our salt layer, we always put that on first. Just a kind of a medium coat around. Okay? And then the next is our savory, which is the Head Country. We're going to put that on. And the reason why we're seasoning the meat, we want to get the seasoning to get to the meat, so the meat has it on there. A lot of times people just season the outside, and you bite into the chicken, and the skin has prevented any of that seasoning getting to the meat. So you want the seasoning on the meat. So that's why we always do that. Now, you'll see, I got some knuckle here I'm going to cut off. And a little fat there. Okay, so we take the skin, you see how we're pulling it over, and see how we push it down and pull that skin up over, and you'll see now we've got a nice covering of the skin over that. We season it again, and that's okay, the bottom part, because it's going to be down in that butter bath, which will protect it. Okay? Turn it. And then, after that's done, we take it and we place it within our pan. They're kind of opposite. I want to put the big pieces towards the outside and the smaller pieces towards the middle, because the outside is going to cook a little bit faster. So if you have different sizes of legs, put the little ones in the middle, and also try to position them so you see there, now the skin is on the top and the meat side is down. Okay? So now, here's where the butter comes in. I'm going to set this aside, and we have our butter. All right? I'm going to take our butter, remove the skin, and I'm going to cut it up into smaller pieces. Like that. Okay? Trying to get in the camera here. And we're going to strategically place it around here, but not on top of the chicken. Do not place it on top of the chicken. Place it around the chicken, because if you place it on top, it's going to melt and it's going to pull all that seasoning off. So you want it around chicken like that. Now we're going to take 1 cup of chicken broth. That's where the measuring cup comes in.
Now, you don't need a lot of broth in this recipe, because we don't want to submerge the chicken. We just want to put enough so we get some moisture in the pan.
Here again, you see I'm pouring it on the side. All right. I don't want to pour it on the chicken. All right. I'm pouring it in on the side so that and then you can do that so I don't take the seasoning off. If you do happen to get some seasoning off, you can always add a little bit more after you put it in. Sprinkle a little bit more if you do happen to hit it and take it off. So now it's ready to put on the smoker.
Now we're going to the smoker, and what we're going to use today is the Myron Mixon 3600 pellet grill. So we're going to take the legs and we're going to put them on the top rack. We have the temp set at 300, and we're going to let them go until we reach our temperature, internal temperature of in the area of 190 to 195.
Okay, here we are. It's been about 2 hours, and we're going to check the temperature out. And we're looking at about right at 192 right now. So ready to pull the chicken. If you notice, I've got the sauce in here in the pan. I put this in about 15 minutes ago to get the sauce warmed up, so when we're dipping the chicken in it, we'll be dipping it in warm sauce and not cold sauce. So you want to warm up your sauce before you do your dipping. So I'm going to pull it out now and head over to the prep table and do the final touches on it.
We're at the final process now. We pulled the chicken off the pellet cooker, and as you can see, some of the juices have built up in the pan. So now we're ready to do the saucing of it, and Stephen's going to walk you through the final process of of the legs off.
Okay. First of all, you notice I have a glove on, but I have a warm glove underneath it because the chicken's hot. So just the regular rubber glove isn't enough. You need a warm glove underneath it. Also, again, we warmed up the sauce, so we're not using cold sauce. That would just cool off the chicken. So we take the chicken at this point. All right. We get let the juice drip off of it, and then we put it in the sauce and get a good coating on the sauce, and we put it in the pan the same direction that we had it in the butter bath. So we get that off there, so it's the meat side down again, get a good rubbing of the sauce on there, and we're stacking it in the pan. So we don't brush it. You get a much better coating when you're dipping it in the pan like this on the chicken. It coats all over. Okay. Okay, so there we have it. So that's what they look like, and now we're going to put them back on the smoker for about 7 to 10 minutes and let that sauce set. Okay, so here we are, putting it on the smoker to set the sauce. Again, we're going to do this about 7 to 10 minutes. Okay, so here we are. It's been about 8 minutes. We're going to pick that up, pull it out. Doesn't that look, man, that looks good, doesn't it? All right, so pretty much done now. Just the final touches. So here we are with the finished product. We have our chicken ready to eat. So now we're going to bring in our tasting expert to taste it out. Check it out.
All right. Which one should I pick? This one looks delicious.
Oh, look at that juice dripping out of there.
Oh yeah. Very good.
Doesn't get better than that.
Very good, tender. Skin's crispy. It's dripping juice, so can't beat that. I'm gonna go off camera and eat the rest of it now.
We hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you'll try this out in the backyard. We would appreciate if you let us know what you think. We're going to try it right now and see what we think. To all of you, thank you very much. Thank you for your support, and stay safe. God bless.
God bless.
Did a good job, Stephen. I actually cooked it. You didn't. Hello, everybody.